Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Government will not shy away from its constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property of its citizenry. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this when he represented President Muhammadu Buhari in Port Harcourt at the inauguration of the Nigerian Police Special Protection Units built by the Niger Delta Development Commission. The Vice President described the edifice as an important feature of police reforms in the fight against terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of criminalities.
It's a crucial component of our law enforcement architecture. They are the civil force, the closest to the people in the various communities. In the past months, we have been undertaking a major reform of the police. First, we believe that we must increase the number of police personnel. So we have set yearly recruitment targets. We are also in the process of re-equipping our personnel, both in personal gear and hardware.
Thank you for the work your men and other security agencies are doing in this state. You've done very well to support us in the security of the state. And as River State government, we will continue to partner with all the security agencies for the improvement of security in our dear state.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, promised to make good use of the facilities. Governor Mai Mala Buni says Yobe State government will continue to collaborate with relevant federal government agencies to consolidate on the gains recorded in insurgency-affected communities by providing them with much-needed infrastructure to ease their practical problems. The governor stated this during a working visit to Gulani and Gujba local government areas to rub minds with returnees and take stock of some of their challenges for necessary intervention. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
Of Gulani local government area, welcoming Governor Mai Mala Buni. Amid this cheering welcome, the crowd, who were mostly youth, displaying placards pleading with the state governor to fast-track the electrification of their area. In a town hall meeting with critical stakeholders in Bara Town, Governor Buni expresses delight with the resettlement of people back to their communities in the area after years as internally displaced persons. The governor says the resettlement and economic recovery of the returnee communities was encouraging, pledging to push for the electrification of the council area as requested by the locals who turned out to welcome him, as well as the rehabilitation of failed portions of the road linking Bunigari and Gujuba local government and the agrarian community to stimulate economic activities. At his hometown, Bunigari, Mai Mala Buni inspected the ongoing construction of a modern primary school as part of effort towards strengthening infrastructure and capability of the education sector within the returnee communities.
Bunigari is one of the used to be headquarters of Boko Haram. They used to have Amir here, and today you can see peace has returned and people are living their normal life.
Also inspected was a gully erosion site at Buniadi, threatening public and private structures, with the governor pledging to arrest the menace. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The Presidential Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy has commenced the consideration of 320 applications for pardon and clemency for onward transmission to President Muhammadu Buhari. Minister of Justice, who addressed the reconvened body, called for objectivity in the consideration of the applications. Femi Okewo reports.
The Presidential Advisory Committee on the Prerogative of Mercy was first inaugurated in 2018. Based on their recommendations, President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 approved the clemency and pardon of 41 inmates and presidential pardon for 4 ex-convicts. Now before the reconvened body are 320 fresh applications, which the Attorney General of the Federation says must conform with the constitutional conditions for pardon.
The core mandate of the committee is that of assisting Mr. President, in the discharge of the constitutional responsibility of granting pardon and clemency to convicts or ex-convicts in deserving cases and reintegrating them back into the society.
The Presidential Advisory Committee is made up of 16 members, which include the Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs.
A drastic reduction in the population of inmates measures correctional centers, which has become distinct.
The work of the Presidential Advisory Committee is expected to impact positively on the nation's criminal justice system and correctional centers across the country. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, Tuesday morning disrupted peace in the Federal Capital Territory following hours of procession by the group. Correspondent Eliasu Onotu Yakubu reports that joint security operations in a swift response repelled the attacks by the supporters.
As early as 8 in the morning, members of the proscribed Shiite group had assembled on the busy Kubwa Expressway, chanting violent songs. This development led to blockage of traffic on the route, with businesses disrupted for residents, commuters and civil servants on early morning rush. Soon afterwards, a joint security operation arrived to disperse the errant procession and forestall breakdown of law and order. Several members of the group were arrested by the security team, including this man identified by military operatives as a suspected fleeing commander of Boko Haram on wanted list.
No person should take law into his or her hands. No group of persons to take laws into their hand. If you want to demonstrate in FCT, or you want to process, or you want to do anything, apply to the Commissioner of Police in FCT. Once it's approved, we will accord you the due respect and regard.
The security operatives reiterated that they will not fold their arms and allow non-state actors disturb the peace of the nation's capital and advise people with such intent to stay clear of the FCT. Iliasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Lagos is our first port of call on Nationwide. Let's join Kehinde for trending stories from that axis. Over to you, Kehinde. Good evening.
Ayodeji, glad to have you join us in Lagos. The Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, is substituting its absence at the seaport with intense campaign to warn traders of the dangers surrounding fake and substandard products. At one of its interactive sessions, the agency did not just highlight standard specifications, but insist that the country stands a better chance of dominating the African continental free trade area if standards become a watchword. Michael Olaleye reports.
The African Continental Free Trade Area is underway, but the major worry among key players is how to freeze out fake and substandard products for the benefit of genuine manufacturers. This is the popular Alaba International Market, a convergence point for dealers in electronics, but equally notorious for aiding the manufacturing, importation and exportation of substandard goods. The discussion at this interactive session is to remind traders that as custodians of one of the largest specialized markets in West Africa, AFCFTA has huge opportunities to transform their businesses if standard is treated sacred. The Director General of SON decried the negative effect of fake and substandard products on lives, livelihoods, and the economy.
It's very important for them to make sure they police themselves to find out people who have bad quality products and report them to us. We test the products, and if the products are substandard, we make sure that their products are off the market, and if we have to prosecute, we'll prosecute.
Determined to change the negative perception about the market, individuals and groups vowed to subscribe to an internal mechanism that strongly frowns at aiding and abetting manufacturing or importation of fake products.
We have the SON committee here, we have buyers beware here, and as a matter of fact, we have made it mandatory for every goods coming to this market that must, first of all, it must be registered. So if there is any problem from any quarter, it can easily traced out.
While the debate on the return of the Standards Organization of Nigeria to the seaports continues, key players say Enlightenment of this nature will further give a push to the mandate of eradicating fake and substandard products. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Technology has made communication easy by breaking borders and making interaction as well as transaction more convenient. Though now an integral part of life, there are times when communication, especially telephone conversation while driving, can be hazardous, a fact that has led to the prohibition of its use by individuals behind wheels. John Adams examines the situation on ground with regards to the ban on use of wireless devices by motorists.
In this booklet are rules for driving on Nigerian roads. A part of it says, and I quote, "No driver of a vehicle shall, while the vehicle is in motion, receive or make a telephone call in any form," unquote. This is to avoid road crashes as driving requires focus. Data by the Federal Road Safety Corps shows that in the first half of 2021, Nigeria recorded 5,320 road crashes with 2,471 deaths. A specific percentage is attributed to making phone calls while in motion. To completely stop this trend, the FRSC recently reminded motorists that the use of wireless devices while driving attracts a 6-month jail term or a fine, and in some cases, both.
When you're on call, watch the road. When you drop the call, watch the road again. It's as if they remove a cobweb from your eyes. You might have the impression that you were seeing, but when you drop that phone, you realize that it's a different vision entirely.
In addition, the use of any form of wireless gadget while driving is termed a distraction, and it may also compete with emergency sounds, thereby placing the driver in harm's way.
I will park before I receive the call.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says many defaulters have been arrested and brought to book. In Lagos, John Adams, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We'll take some messages now. The news continues with Mohammed in Maiduguri.
NPHCDA commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Public policy issues on 5G network is our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Leadership and experts on hand to enlighten Nigerians. Tuesday Live, every week on Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m. Incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
This present government has done a lot on the train modernization. They came in and completed the Abuja Kaduna, and we have 9 stations there, 5 stopping stations and 4 crossing stations, making 9. And when we started in 2016, we started with 2 trips, then we later moved on to 8 trips, and we are talking about moving to 14 trips a day And we have been able to send 10 DMUs, 10 coaches, and 2 locomotives new. We have 12 stations on the Takwere rail line. It's about 312 kilometer length of tracks, and it's over 35 years old. And the government came and took it up, finished the tracks, built modern stationing, and the stations are finished. Working on the signaling. We all hope to start the commercial operations by the end of September.
I did enjoy Nollywood film, Orisun, PBO, AMC, be my best channel. But ST Nollywood Plus, they show the latest Nollywood blockbuster on top classic bouquet. How I want to take watch them?
My pikin they enjoy 5 children's channels, but one called our DreamWorks on top.
I be telenovela lover, and I like ST Novella E and Starlight. But I hear say this series on ST Novella E Plus on top classic bouquet. They torture person pass waiting I dey see now, and I won't watch them. Sure, I go need pay 800 naira extra.
From September 1, Star Times, they summer you better package. But no fear, we no increase price. Join this offer. Make basic bouquet subscribers just pay for 1 month and they go fit to watch 3 Ogbonge extra channels from Classic Bouquet. This awoof never finish. Recharge Classic or Super Bouquet for 1 month and you fit be one of the 400 lucky people them. We go win smartphone. Terms and conditions, they shall. More value, same price. Star Times, enjoy digital life.
Chelsea will look to bounce back from their loss against the defending champions when they take on Southampton at Stamford Bridge. Will they succeed? Find out this Saturday on the Premier League Live. It's Chelsea versus Southampton, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
Welcome to Nationwide from Maiduguri. Contractors handling construction of Borno State University Teaching Hospital and Medical College have been urged to hasten work to enable government inaugurate the project as scheduled. This was when Governor Babagana Umar Zulum inspected the ongoing work at various sections of the institution. Mohammed Goni reports.
Borno State University Teaching Hospital has 14 different sections and work has already commenced in 5. Site engineer Usman Tijani, who briefed the governor on the progress of work, said construction of general outpatient as well as accident and emergency sections has reached 80% completion stage, while work on other sections such as the medical and surgical department is at various stages. Professor Wagana Umara, who commended the quality and level of work, assured to procure equipment while the work is ongoing.
We shall have a general meeting with the other contractors to review the drawing of a plan that will ensure completion of the entire State University Teaching Hospital by the end of next year.
The engineer assured the governor that all things being equal, the project will be completed by the end of next year. Establishment of the teaching hospital and the medical college is part of requirements for take-off of the Faculty of Medicine at the Borno State University. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
As part of European Union support to response, recovery and resilience in Borno State, International Rescue Committee IRC has donated 4 ambulances to general hospitals across 4 local government areas of the state. Jado Ajan Jassani reports.
The donation of 4 ambulances by the International Rescue Committee was part of implementation of the EU Borno package across 4 local governments of Mafa, Konduga, Goza and Magumeri in Borno State. Country Director of IRC, Babatunde Ojei, said the gesture is intended to strengthen referral system from primary health facilities to secondary and tertiary facilities to make it easy for persons with critical cases and emergencies to access the needed health care. Mr. Babatunde revealed that from January 2021, the IRC has facilitated the referral of over 300 persons with critical health cases from PHCs to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, alongside repairs of 2 ambulances in Magumeri and Kondiga.
This is part of our sustainability strategy for a project that we've implemented through the support of the EU, and the need for this came out from engagements with the relevant authorities at the LGA and also at the state level.
Launching and presenting the ambulances, Commissioner for RRR Engineer Mustafa Gubio, alongside Permanent Secretary Ministry of Health, Dr. Mohammed Guluze, appreciated the European Union and IRC for the timely intervention as relative peace is now being enjoyed across some communities and local governments in the state.
The population in those areas, there's the need for them to be supported with these ambulances. We'll make sure that the Ministry of Health provide all the necessary means for the maintenance of those vehicles, the ambulances.
Chairman, Magumeri Local Government, Dr. Ali Lawan on behalf of the benefiting local governments, assured to maintain and make judicious use of the ambulances.
In Maiduguri, Jedwa, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.
Thanks, Mohammed, in our Maiduguri Network Center. Now let's talk about infrastructure development, because the Senate has urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to, as a matter of emergency, expedite work on the repairs of damaged portion of roads across the country. This followed a motion of urgent public importance by Senator Mustapha Olalekon, which observed that so many federal roads and bridges have been destroyed by the rains and will further deteriorate if urgent measures are not taken. The motion followed an earlier one by Senator Sabi Abdullahi, which canvassed for the declaration of state of emergency on roads in Niger State and for the federal government to provide 300 billion naira emergency special intervention fund for the repair of bad roads in Niger State.
Posing a danger to human safety and causing significant disruption to both economic and social activities. Also worried that motorists are enduring untold hardship and the security of lives and properties of Nigerians are no longer guaranteed.
Intervention fund for the critical roads in Niger State to the tune of 300 billion to concurrently fix the roads as part of the infrastructure rehabilitation efforts of the government to support ease of business and economic recovery across the country.
Meanwhile, the gridlock experienced on Bida, Lapai and Mena Suleja roads in Niger State since last week Thursday due to the blockade of the axes by the drivers of articulated vehicles who are protesting closure of Mina Kataregi Bida road is gradually fizzling out. This followed an appeal by the federal government to the protesting drivers to shift ground to enable the contractor handling the project fix the failed portions of the Lapai-Lambata axis. Road traffic officials were also on hand to maintain orderliness and ensure free flow of traffic in a gridlock that has spanned 6 days. However, the Bida-Mina road, which is the bone of contention, still remains closed to articulated vehicles. In another development, Nigeria's waterways have become considerably more secure in contemporary times, but require more viable ports and navigable channels. This was the consensus of transport experts while discussing enhancing water transportation on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Ekemini Williams has the details.
Nigeria has been striving to rejuvenate water transportation, which is one of the oldest means of movement of goods and passengers within the country. However, it has not picked up as anticipated, in spite of the socio-economic benefits and the huge potential for generating revenue. Transport experts on the program say this is a major setback for the sector, which will require political will and greater collaboration among stakeholders and institutions to resolve.
We understand, and I think other chief executives share the same sentiment, that no one can do it alone.
If we don't have these inland ports in good shape, they cannot connect to any seaport. They cannot dispatch any cargo or any vessel onto the waterways to move to any part of the Nigerian water systems. I have talked about the need for the navigational channels. Then the carrier and the locomotive power for water transportation. We need the barges, we need the boats, we need the light ships and their propulsion to move.
Now, looking at NIMASA, looking at Nigerian Ports Authority, they generate an average of 300 billion annually, which is fantastic. They also lose over 40 billion because of congestion, poor management, and other issues that using the river ports could have saved us.
After the maritime security, after the policy intervention, then we have the issue of infrastructure. Having achieved these peers, We are now going to the full-blown blue economy. I've been moving around to get the buy-in of the state governors, because we cannot sit down at the federal level when we have 8 neutral states by the definition of the Supreme Court.
They stressed the need to address the protracted challenge at the Lagos ports and move the traffic inward, among ways to achieve a functional water transport system. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Benin is our next stop on Nationwide, and Obehi will guide us. Hi, Obehi.
Olajide, very good to see you and welcome to Benin. The rising environmental pollution of several waterways across the country is the reason for a decline in water quality and its utilization. At a riverside show in Ipoba River, Benin City, on this year's World Rivers Day, stakeholders in water management are calling on indigenous people to shun indiscriminate dumping of waste and other pollutants in waterways. Eugenia Ndubisi tells us more.
The celebration with East in waterways in our communities is to draw attention to the world's rivers that are in degraded state due to urbanization.
This is Ipoba River in Ipoba local government area of Edo State. It is one of the rivers in the state that has suffered degradation due to human activities.
Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority, an agency of government, has several waterways in each catchment areas. To celebrate this year's event, the managing director led other staff on road show down to Ipoba River for symbolic cleaning of the river and planting of trees for preservation of ecosystem.
Before now, the attitude has been that waterways, can be used to carry as conveyance for refuse. Our effort is leading the way in advocacy to promote the preservation of our rivers and the respective waterways in our communities.
Other stakeholders urged indigenous people to desist from dumping waste in waterways as it pollutes the rivers.
We need to see this river as our inheritance and rise up and own it. River is not where you just channel your drains to.
The World Rivers Day is being celebrated for the first time in Nigeria. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is intensifying efforts to minimize the risk of deaths on the nation's highways through the defensive driving approach that guarantees safety on Nigerian roads. The Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi disclosed this in a message to the flag-off of the 2021 Ember Months campaign in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adeboboye reports.
The 50.8% of fatality witnessed on Nigerian roads occasioned by overspeed and recklessness. The Federal Road Safety Corps believes, as a lead agency in traffic management in Nigeria, there must be remarkable strategies to curb actions that will undermine the safety of innocent citizens on the road. The Ember Months campaign incorporated to reawaken individuals' consciousness to the realities of the last 4 months of the year. Commercial Boboye Oyemi noted that it will fast-track the culture of good road and adopt best global safety practices by maintaining safe speed and avoiding night travels.
The panacea to all this simply lies on we changing our attitudinal predisposition to the use of the road. If we do it, I think we'll get a different result. And that's why this campaign is very necessary.
We can achieve zero fatalities if everybody comply with the simple rules and regulation of the road.
Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi, represented by his deputy, Otumba Bisegbeyemi, observed that Ember months are usually characterized by increased traffic volume of both human and vehicular, and promised government's continued support to reduce road crashes in the state. The Ember month campaign with the team maintain safe speed, avoid night travels, and enjoy quality road experience is what stakeholders believe will be achieved through collective efforts. In Ado-Ekiti, Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues. All right, after this break with Olajide in Abuja.
Youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Chelsea will look to bounce back from their loss against the defending champions when they take on Southampton at Stamford Bridge. Will they succeed? Find out this Saturday on the Premier League Live. It's Chelsea versus Southampton, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
You're welcome back. INEC and the National Union of Road Transport Workers, as well as National Association of Road Transport Owners, have renewed their 2019 Memorandum of Understanding on the delivery of election materials. Representatives of INEC and the transport unions reviewed the implementation strategies in a meeting in Abuja. Primarily for now is how election materials can be delivered timely to the polling units in the Anambra State governorship election coming up November 6th.
Bottom line is that we must ensure that we improve the implementation of this MOU in such a way that we will be able to open our polling units at 8 o'clock on election day. You know, if we don't open poll at 8 o'clock on election day, Nigeria will say, you see them?
Actually, that is why we are meeting here, to identify those little challenges we encounter and see how we can address these challenges in the 2023 elections.
Both parties agreed to respect the terms of the memorandum in order to ensure a smooth exercise and beyond. The All Progressives Congress affiliate groups say they are redoubling efforts to work towards promoting unity in Nigeria. This was at the formal unveiling of the National Progressives Hub in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports that drivers of the project also urged the nation's youth to shun destructive agitations.
Congratulations. Since its formation, the All Progressives Congress has adopted support groups that have been playing strategic roles in its political journey. The National Progressives Hub is the latest, with an agenda to promote peace and progressive politics.
We believe in the progressive agenda, the continuity of the progressive agenda. We believe that President Muhammadu Buhari is doing very well with the infrastructures on ground right now. So we as a group, we are in total support of the progressive agenda.
A lot of work is being done by the party to become more youth sensitive and gender sensitive, and we are very, very hopeful that this would produce good results.
Because it is democracy, internally every party has a responsibility to be fair and transparent and be true to what they stand for.
Members here have agreed to be in the forefront of propagating the progressive ideology of the APC and mobilize more supporters. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
As the National Assembly Harmonization Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives sets for its conference on electoral bill harmonization, the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room and the European Union Support for Democratic Governance in Nigeria are urging that the process be in the best national interest and devoid of political intrigues and calculations. This was at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The way to go. Civil society partners here gathered and many key stakeholders have identified about 17 points of divergence in the versions of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives, among which are the use of smart card readers, the deployment of electronic voting, collation and transmission of results, the cost of campaigns and the process of nomination of candidates, among others.
We expect that the Harmonization Committee will respect the version of electoral bill that allows the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, to determine the mode of conduct for elections, including transmission of results.
The Situation Room, however, says that it is concerned with the identified differences in the proposals, particularly regarding electronic transmission of results and the deployment of technological devices in the conduct of elections. The Situation Room further emphasized that INEC over the years has shown by its practice and experience that it has adequate capacity to use technology in elections, including the transmission of results. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Suleiman is in our Kaduna Network Center and he will be giving us the next set of reports on Nationwide. Good evening, Suleiman. It's good to see you.
Thank you very much, Olajide, and welcome. Concerned by the increasing rate of rape cases, especially against minors, Islamic scholars in Jigawa State have taken a sensitization to the doorsteps of mothers. Ibrahim Belagunda tells us more from Dusi.
Despite tough legal stance of Jigawa State government on rape cases, including the signing into law of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Bill, which prescribes life jail term or death sentence for rape convicts, the situation is still worrisome. According to data released by the State Police Command, 55 cases of rape were recorded between January to July 2021. This prompted the action of state Islamic scholars to embark on sensitization of the women to be at the forefront of the fight against rape and rapists as character molders of the society.
That is why our most important attention is on how are we going to enrich our mind with the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Families and parents should have to come and think of the ways that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam are given to them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that created us. He tells us who are allowed to see our children, who are allowed to sit with our children, who can we trust, who can we give our children in trust.
The initiative is expected to be replicated in all parts of the state. From Dutse, Ibrahim Belagunda, NTA News.
To foster unity, peace, and mutual respect among adherents of various religions in Kano. An interfaith youth dialogue has been held by Gama and Gogorwa communities in the metropolis. Our service reports that the dialogue is part of the initiatives to counter negative narratives and perceptions among community members with regards to ethnic and religious affiliations.
The Community Initiative to Promote Peace, CIPP, in collaboration with other peace advocates, come together to strengthen the long-existing peaceful coexistence among the people of different faith living in Gama and Gwagwaro communities. It is to bring community members of various religious and ethnic groups together to encourage the exploration of intercultural linkages in a bid to end the cycle of violence. The dialogue is also to promote inclusion of young men and women in maintaining peace and security by facilitating safe spaces for them to participate in peace-building processes and decision-making structure.
Together in harmony, and by doing so, we can be able to achieve that which we want to achieve in peaceful coexistence.
And to come up with some modalities that people embrace so that peace will last in the society.
When peace moves, there is a freedom of everything.
The community and religious leaders, however, urge people to shun religious segregation to enhance unity and sustainable development in the state. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
And with that report, Ayodeji, take it away from here. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Suleiman, in our Kaduna Network Center. Back here in Abuja, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate an alleged insertion in the security tips section of the National Youth Service Corps Handbook for Corps members, informing them to contact family members when kidnapped for ransom. In adopting a motion from the House Minority Leader, Ndudi Elumelu, the House expressed concern on the said advisory to Corps members alleged to have been inserted in the pamphlets, while urging authorities to put in place adequate measures to ensure safety of Corps members. The House mandated the Committee on Youth Development to investigate the said insertion of item 65 subsection E in the security tips. Also, 2 establishment bills were passed during plenary. These are the bill to establish Nigerian Maritime Security Trust Fund and the bill to establish Nigerian Council for Social Work Practitioners. Kano State government has appointed wives of local council chairmen and those of political office holders as female anti-drug ambassadors to discourage drug and substance abuse among youth. This is part of renewed campaign against the menace across the 44 local government areas of the state. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
The state is winning the war against drug abuse. Concerns are still high on how young ladies are into the unwholesome behavior. This informs the launch of a renewed campaign against the menace by the state government. Further to that, wives of local council chairmen and female political office holders were inaugurated as anti-drug abuse ambassadors to lead the campaign across the 44 local government areas.
It's a far-reaching decision that was made, and it is going to have a tremendous impact into the campaign against drug abuse in the whole of Kano State.
Resource persons made presentations on the spiritual, medical and social implications of drug and substance abuse. In a message, Emir of Kano Aminu Ado Bayero recommends premarital drug test as another strategy towards winning the war. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Until the health information managers get it right, the dream health sector of the 21st century is far from being achieved. This is the view of experts at a 2-day mandatory retreat for health information managers from different institutions and facilities in the country. Murjannatu Adam Saeed reports.
Convergence of professionals in healthcare record management in Nigeria who are determined to right the wrong in the sector. The essence of their meeting is to re-establish the culture of excellence in healthcare record and management.
That's why we call all the coordinators involved in running the schools and to have brainstorm on how to find a solution to that.
Association has discovered
a falling standard of education in our training institutions across the country. We have also discovered a decline in service delivery at the service areas across the nation.
To others, there is need to go back to the drawing board.
It is very unfortunate for record practitioners to fail the major core course of health information management, which is health record management.
It's an eye-opener. Even the external invigilators, I think they all must have learned something, that they need to report such an act so that our students can sit up.
In the cycle of healthcare delivery, the health record unit is key in patient care and treatment. In Abuja, Morjana Chu, Adam Said, NTA News.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has inaugurated a National Technical Working Group on flood preparedness, mitigation and response to effectively assist in the management of flood devastation in the country. Correspondent Eliasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Committee members were drawn from the various intervening agencies to include NISA and NIMET, Federal Road Safety Corps, the Police, Federal Ministry of Environment, Fire Service, and State Emergency Management Agencies. The committee has 4 terms of references, which are to ensure routine examination of flood situations, continually assess the preparedness of all relevant stakeholders at federal, state, and local government levels. It is also to come up with strategies that can strengthen and enhance capability to prepare, mitigate, and respond to flood incidences at all levels, as well as ensure political support to all strategies. The NEMA boards who joined the committee to make every effort at ensuring prompt recommendations in response to disasters reaffirmed NEMA's commitment to the collective desire to reduce the potential impact of natural and human-induced disasters in Nigeria.
The group may also consider and incorporate appropriate development partners, regional activities, regional initiatives, and private entrepreneurs that will give strength to our intervention practices.
The inauguration of the National Response Team is part of the series of programs and activities outlined for flood mitigation and response this year. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliakubu, NTA News.
Abuja played host to food lovers from around the globe who came to celebrate the rich African culture through local foods. Ekene Undulwe reports that it was a meeting point of vendors, chefs, and various meals from different parts of Africa.
Now, African music, fashion, and other forms of art have earned global acclaim. It appears that the narrative is also about to change for African meals, as the African Food Festival aims at taking African dishes to the global community. It was a setup of delicacies from various ethnic groups in Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal. Beyond the origin, for food lovers, there is a story behind every meal.
Hopefully, I should be able to taste some of them. Like I've tasted masa now, and this is my first time of having masa. I think it's really nice.
And I just tried Senegal jello for the first time. Not bad, but Nigerian jello still remains the best, I gotta say.
The popsicle, and it tastes like cookies and cream.
The event is also about finding modern ways of making African foods attractive to the world.
A lot of people like kuli-kuli. In Nigeria, in West Africa, it's a common snack. We wanted to make it a bit more acceptable internationally, so that's why we made it this way.
One of the aim of this event, to drive conversations on how we can take African food to the international community. That's the major aim.
It's a very good concept because it brings different cultures and different foods. It makes it open for people to interact and really get to appreciate things that they ordinarily would not be able to eat.
It did not end with having a taste of the meals. The event was also an opportunity to experience different cultures in one venue. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Some tasty African cuisines there. Moving on, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Garba Abari, has called for inclusion of Nigerian indigenous languages as a tool for national integration. He made the call during the press briefing organized by HIA Nigeria in collaboration with National Orientation Agency ahead of preparation of Independence Day coming up October 1st. Garba Abari emphasizes the need for using local languages as effective means of national development, promotion of national consciousness, peace and unity in multilingual society, Nigeria.
Ethnicity shouldn't be used to divide this country the way it is being done today, because God in His infinite wisdom has purpose of making us into different languages and into different languages. Yet He put us together in this place called Nigeria.
He said indigenous languages remain potential medium of communication to large number of people. As such, there is need for translation of some national symbols and prayers for people to understand better and also to actualize the rationale behind such national identities. In a remark, the coordinator HIA Nigeria, Oluwadamilola Oni, described the press conference as part of a series of activities aimed at public sensitization on the importance of the Independence Day as Nigeria is reaching 61 years.
What we call the Compatriots and Citizens Day.
She said the organization has set to provide comprehensive book which comprises the translation of national symbols in different languages for the benefit of Nigerians. Stakeholders in the tourism sector are calling for enhanced investments in the culture and tourism environment in the country to ginger needed exploration and preservation of the numerous potentials of the sector and boost the socio-economic activities of communities and provide employment. Evelyn Badu-Ekpo reports.
One of the world's most viable economic sectors. According to the United Nations, tourism employs 1 in every 10 million of people on earth.
People move from one area to the other to inspect things, to see things. They will look at, take pictures of events and activities. There are other events that go around.
Tourism is one of the economic attractions that every country should actually maintain.
Hence its celebration of Tourism Day, September 27 annually. The emergence of COVID-19 pandemic has had a massive social and economic impact on tourism in both developing and developed economies. And the need for recovery and growth is the aim of the 2021's theme. Some stakeholders lament the abandonment of some tourist sites in the country that would have enhanced the economy and fortune of Nigeria.
The Akwa tourism perspective has not been properly explored. You know, we have a lot of problems with it. They are undeveloped and developed tourism, and with the coming of Ibom, you are expected to have a lot of people coming in to find out what is in Akwa Ibom.
I also want to focus on the academic aspect of it and the cultural aspect of it, which we seem to forget in this present era. I would want to put like an appeal that the government and individuals should value tourist sites.
They called on government to invest in tourism sites that will boost the socio-economic development of the country while creating job opportunities for the populace. Evelyn Badu-Ekpo, NTA News.
Following the collapse of a classroom building in Imeko area of Ogun State, which claimed the life of a 13-year-old female student, Governor Dapo Abiodun says his government is committed to addressing infrastructural deficits in schools for a safe learning environment across the state. Tokwe Alabi reports.
The victim, Muinat Ilebi, a 13-year-old newly admitted female student, was in the classroom with 2 of her classmates when the dilapidated structure gave way and collapsed on them. Unfortunately, Muinat could not make it, while her classmates also sustained injuries. In its on-the-spot assessment visit to the school, Ogun State government delegation, led by the State Commissioner for Housing, Jamiu Omoniye, says the state government is committed to fixing infrastructural deficits in schools to forestall reoccurrence and also to create a safe learning environment.
We are taking it up on ourselves, and not only this, all other ones in this situation across the state, we will be taking it up immediately to make sure that we do the needful.
And not only that, we will make sure we monitor all our classes to see that we have conducive learning environment. And the ones that we needed to condone off, you will see that we've done that.
The delegation also visited the family of Ilebiyi to commiserate with them over the death of their daughter, Muinat. Inimeko Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
And Olumide Eguntola brings us sports updates.
Nigeria's youngest gold medalist, Deborah Quickpen, has emerged winner of the just concluded Under-10 African Youth Chess Championship in Ghana. The 9-year-old Bayelsa-born chess prodigy amassed 8.0 points to defeat her opponent from Tunisia to be crowned champion, ahead of 19 others from African countries. With this feat, Quickpen has now made history as the youngest female player to have bagged a woman candidate master title. In another news, the Nigerian Olympic Committee, in partnership with Commonwealth Games Nigeria, has organized a program to promote and encourage the development of indigenous sports in the country. The program, which took place at the National Stadium, Lagos, featured 5 indigenous sports like Ayu, Abula, and arm wrestling, among others, which the NOC hopes will become scoring events in future national and international competitions.
The Commonwealth Games Federation is the organization responsible for the direction and control of the Commonwealth Games and the Commonwealth Youth Games, which are held every 4 years.
From Uyo, John Paul Alomo reports that the state athletes in track and field events have expressed their readiness to make podium finishes at the forthcoming National Youth Games in Ilorin, Kwara State. Our day trials held at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium is to select athletes that will represent the state at the forthcoming Youth Games.
Unfortunately for us, during the holidays, we were able to see the opportunity and brought most of them to view and we're training them. So
I'm impressed with what the children are doing, and the selection process is a good one.
In football, Edo Queens defeated Nigeria Terrors of Abuja 2-1 Monday night after a colorful opening ceremony of the maiden edition of Betsy Obaseki football tournament at the Samuel Ugbemudia Stadium, Benin. And from the foreign scene, matches slated for Tuesday in the UEFA Champions League are PSG against Manchester City, AC Milan versus Atletico Madrid, FC Porto will host Liverpool, while Borussia Dortmund will lock arms with Sporting CP, among other matches. With sports updates, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And that's nationwide on the NTA. Please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, good evening.